What up, everyone? We got my Geeky goodies here. So, this is officially the first box of June. This is the last day in June. We're practically in July now. I'm already behind for this month's boxes, but this will be a smaller month for boxes, so hopefully I can play catch up and we won't get too far behind by the time I do my monthly review. But anyway, this is the last My Geeky goodies we're going to see for a while. They officially announced June is their last box for the summer. They're not going to do boxes over the summer. They're going to take the summer off and come back in the fall. They're going to do some reworking, build the company, and do some better things. So, sounds good to me. Like, why not? So, let's take a look at what we got in this month's box. On a side note, sorry if my fan is too loud. It's very hot over here, so I have the fan on super high, so hopefully it's not too distracting. But anyway, got our classic My Geeky Goodie paper. That's always good. I've always liked that they put that. Not really necessary, but I always like the decorations in boxes. Alright, first off, we got a pop figure. Magneto. So, I already have Magneto, and this is like the third time he's shown up in a box. I'm not sure how they pick out the pops sometimes, but it seems like sometimes the same pop figures show up like often. I'm not sure why. But yeah, pretty generic choice. It's still a good one though. I like Magneto. He's a cool character, so Magneto pop. There you go. Next, we got the DC Mystery Minis. So this is a cool series too. Again, this has been out a little while. I've collected pretty much all of them, so I doubt I'll get any of the rare ones. So again, fairly common item, but still a good one. Still a good item. Then, this item was pretty interesting. So this is called I Am Elemental. So I can't see it, I'll show a picture at the end, but it's kind of like a mystery bag, but basically there's different figures in here with different attributes. And they try to make them look like elements. So the different figures are like bravery, energy, honesty, industry, enthusiasm, persistence, and fear. So you get this little figure that kind of shows that attribute in a certain way. So just a little tiny like action figure, and I got fear. So I would say it's like a blind bag, but mine was marked. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be. I feel like it's supposed to be a blind bag, but mine was marked that it said fear, and I got fear. So I'm not sure if they're all like that. But, you know, these aren't particularly like amazing or anything, but it's pretty cool. It's interesting what they did. They come with cards, a little playmat, a bag, and a little shield with their like elemental symbol. So it looks like a periodic chart element. And again, I'll show a picture at the end so you can see this because I know my camera doesn't autofocus. But anyway, this was an interesting item. I've never seen it before, so it was kind of cool to see something like new and interesting. And I like this concept that this bag is doing. Obviously, it would be much better if we had like recognizable characters, if we had like Marvel or DC picked up on this and did something like that. But this is just like a new random company doing it, but it's still really cool. It's just a very interesting concept, and I like that they did that, so I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, just this little figure came in a bag. And I'm assuming everyone got different elements or attributes, but I just like that it was something new and interesting. Again, not particularly amazing, but I like to see new stuff. That's always important for me, and that's kind of special for me. And then the last items, obviously we got our card and pin. The last one is in a little bag, comes with like 3 different things. So, one, we got a pewter pin. These have been showing up a lot lately. We saw the Avengers ones recently. I got Spider-Man, but they're cool. Pewter is a very cheap metal, but it is still metal, and it looks very nice. So it is a cool looking pin. And then we got some stickers. So we got a mixture of them. We got the old school. These are from '91. We got some Ghostbusters and Toxic Crusaders. And then we also got this sticker pack from Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And again, it's the old school like paper style wrapped cards. And you know, I actually always like to see these. The good thing about it is they're not a main item in the box, so they're not going to make or break it either way. But it's always cool to see these because it totally reminds me of my childhood. Because you can tell the old style of cards when they wrapped them up in paper like that, because they stopped doing that a very long time ago. So it's always cool just to see these and to look back at some old stickers from an old movie that's still cool today. So I always like to see these. It always puts a smile on my face. And it's obviously not taking up a lot of value. It doesn't make a huge difference or anything, but I'm always pleased to see them. So I'm pretty happy about that. And the pin was cool too. So the theme on this one was heroes and villains. And again, this is the same thing we had about last month. They picked just the broadest theme that you can possibly think of that just encompasses everything. Like, I don't know if it's last month or the month before, it was like mystery mashup. This time it's heroes and villains. It can pretty much be anything at that point. But we'll get into that in a minute. So let's go through these items and talk about some value. Alright, let's put some value on these items. So, first off, we got the pop figure. Easy to rate it, $10, nothing special. Mystery Mini, same thing, standard price, $6. That's all around, there's nothing rare or special about them. That's just how it goes. Next, the Elemental figure. Now these are probably going to run about $10. I looked online and sealed bags, you can get them for around $10. The ones out of the bag are like $11 or something like that if you wanted a specific character, so right around $10. If I ever saw these in the store, I imagine they'd probably be sold cheaper, but I've never seen these in a store. I don't think they're popular enough to get a lower price point, so they could be cheaper, but right around $10 just for argument's sake. Then, our little pin. This is like $3 or $4. I see these in my local comic shop all the time for like, I think $3 or $4. So, and it's nice. It's pewter, so it's like nice quality. It's not plastic or anything. So, $3 or $4 is reasonable. And then our little sticker packs. I just put $1 or $2 on these. Although these are very old, again, they're not hard to find. Even if they are a little bit hard to find, they're not expensive. They're not high quality or anything like that, and they haven't gone up in value at all. They made so many of these in the 90s, so the value didn't increase whatsoever. So these couldn't be more than like 50 cents a piece for these. So even still, $1 or $2 on that. So with all that considered, the value on this is pretty narrow. 30 on the low end, only 32 on the high end. The prices were pretty exact because it was pretty straightforward. There was nothing rare or super interesting about most of the items in here. So the rating on this box, I'm only going to give it a 5 out of 10. And the reason for that is they put in a lot of very common stuff. Like obviously the pop figure was common, the Mystery Mini is. The Elemental figure is still common, they're very easy to come by. But it was cool to see something I hadn't seen before. But other than that, that was pretty much the only interesting thing. Like I said, I was happy to see the stickers, but again, many boxes do that. They've done it a bunch of times, so it's nothing new. Now, last month I said don't expect anything amazing from this box, and I couldn't have been more right. Seeing as how this is their last box before they take a break, I wouldn't imagine anything great from them. The time they're taking off was decided somewhat last minute, so it wasn't something that was planned out far in advance, so I can kind of see them just pushing out some leftover stuff they had ordered just to try and get stock out there while they take their break. And to be perfectly honest, this theme, like, they have a habit of making themes that are just like super broad and general to where they can literally put anything in the box and it would just be in that theme. Like heroes and villains, like that's the most broad theme pretty much out there. Like they could literally put in anything and it would apply to heroes and villains in some way or some form. You gotta realize that every movie, every book, every comic book, every storyline, every character, everything ever has had a hero and a villain, has had conflict and resolution. Everything. Just name anything. It's had a hero and a villain. Every character, every superhero has a supervillain and vice versa. Even like ones that aren't big movies, everything has the good guy and the bad guy. There wouldn't be conflict without that and there'd be no storyline. So like they could just literally put in any character that's ever been in existence ever and it would either be a hero or a villain or at least identify with one side. So again, their theme choice just seems like a little bit of a cop-out because it's just so broad. They could have just had crap in their pocket and been like, oh yeah, heroes and villains, there you go. But regardless of that, I guess it doesn't matter. It just seems odd to me that they're even picking themes at a certain point because I think they would be better off just not picking a theme because it almost seems lazy that they picked a theme and then just went super general. I think they'd be better off just not having a theme at that point because what's the point? If you're so general and you're just putting random stuff in anyway, then what's the point of the theme? And like the one before, Mystery Mashup, again, literally meant anything. Anything's a mystery mashup when you put two random things together. But anyway, not a big deal. The theme isn't super important anyway, but I'm just pointing that out just because it was something interesting to me. So, but overall, like I said, nothing super high value, nothing rare, nothing very interesting about it, but that's kind of what I've expected of it. And you really only got a few dollars more than you paid. The box cost $25, and in reality you only got about $30. So the fact of the matter is, if you didn't like one of these items, technically you didn't even get your money back of things you liked. So the margin was too narrow and the things were too generic for this box. It wasn't bad by any means, it was still good stuff, it was just very, very common, and it's likely that people already had a lot of the things in this box, which isn't really a good thing. But the good news is that they've said they're going to come back stronger as a brand new company, which I appreciate. So I think this box has gotten a lot of attention, and I think they've gotten a lot of business. This has been a very common box for reviewers. Pretty much everyone's gotten this box. Even though it's never been particularly amazing by any means, I think they've gotten a lot of business, so I think they've gotten a lot of profit from that. So I'm hoping that means that they're going to put that into the company and rebuild it like they said they will. So I'm kind of trusting in them that they will do that, and hopefully they're not disappearing forever, because I've heard of many boxes doing that, like, oh, we're going to take a break and come back, and then they just never do. So hopefully that's not the case, but I appreciate them putting in the work and trying to come back as a better company. And I also kind of like that they're taking a break, because there's so many boxes out there, like, it's always hard to cancel one because then you feel like you're missing out on whatever's coming next. But since they're canceling themselves, everyone gets to take a break, save a little bit of money, and they're not missing out on anything. And then they're going to come back. And I have a feeling when they come back as a new company, they're going to start getting like exclusives and things like that, because they've been around long enough, they've got enough business to the point where I think that they're going to start getting exclusives, making better partnerships, deals and stuff like that. So I'm pretty hopeful for this. I see some good potential in this box, so we'll see what happens in the fall. I'm not sure if I have to resubscribe or not. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, so this has been the last of my Geeky Goodies, so we'll see what happens in the fall. But I'm hopeful. I think good things are to come, and I think it should be a cool thing. But anyway, 5 out of 10, not very high value, not good variety, but everything else was fine. It was decent stuff, and you got a little bit more than you paid for, so 5 out of 10 I think is pretty reasonable. Anyway, this has been my Geeky Goodies. Thank you all for watching. Love you all. Peace.